We will now be watching Bella's underwater 25-yard breaststroke. This is commentated by Coach Connor, and we will be viewing the video at 1/4 of the original speed that it was recorded at. Let's begin. Okay, Bella, the big thing I'm going to talk about here with your pull-out, okay, is body position, how we want to be when we leave the wall. So I'm going to bring it back just a smidge. As you can see, when we leave the wall, our feet are up in the back. It's because our arms were aimed down towards the bottom off the wall. Now we come to a level position right here, but if you'll notice how deep we are, okay, and how we have to use our pull out just to get all the way back up to the surface. So take note. Body position is parallel. Okay, aiming for the wall in front of us down at the other end. Okay, but you'll notice how deep we are to the surface of the water. Optimally, we want to be about this deep off the wall throughout the duration of our pull out. Okay, there's less resistance there, and we'll have a better, tighter body position, therefore we'll have a quicker, more powerful pull out. The next thing I want to talk about is the head position through the pull out. Okay, throw the head down. Okay, but as we're coming up, you're lifting the head because you know that you're too deep as you're beginning to complete halfway through your pull out. You're halfway through your pull out, you realize that you're a little bit too deep, so you're lifting the head because you're trying to get to the surface. Okay, so we get everything in the upper body up towards the surface, but now our feet are down towards the bottom. We want to make sure our hips are up here as we're completing the pull out. So that all stems from how we leave the wall. And if we leave the wall with our arms aiming down, okay, that's where we're going to go. If we leave with our arms aiming out, we're going to be towards the surface, having a more efficient body position. So just keep that in mind whenever you leave the wall. We want to make sure the hands are aiming towards the other end. Okay, and because our pull out kind of ended at a downward angle, it caused us to start with a wide pull, which in essence could be why we created a habit of having a wide pull. Notice the head. The eyes are down, and that's good, but I can see that the head is up just a little bit. We want to completely relax to where the name on your cap, so right here, okay, is just beneath your arms, that we can't really see the name on your cap. If we can cover that name up on the cap along your arms, that means we have proper head position. Yeah, right there, that's great, right there. You see what I'm talking about? The name is pretty much covered up. I can see your goggles looking down at the bottom. Your body position is nice and long towards the surface. Now it's a little deep because of the last pull we took was from a deeper position. But if we can find our way to that body position and we're able to get this line from there to here, it's going to be much better. Okay? So as opposed to here, the middle of our body would be right here with the body at the surface. Also want you to take note of where your hands are at as you're pulling in to your body. Because we're sweeping so low, okay, they are coming towards the chest, but they're just below the chest, and we really want our hands to be more towards here, which is why if we correct our pull with our fingertips facing each other, so your middle fingers almost kind of touch as you come towards the chest, you're going to have a higher hand position. Therefore, you're going to be able to cut through the surface of the water as opposed to push through the water. You see how your hands push right there, especially as your head comes down. We want to make sure before our body is falling down forward. Okay, I should say driving forward, not falling forward. As our body is driving forward, we want to shoot those hands out. Okay, we don't want to push them just kind of down, let them fall down. We want to push them forward so the rest of our body follows that same kind of movement that and that's going to help us get more towards the surface as well. And as you can see, as you get through more and more of the 25, that pull just gets a little bit wider because they're starting to burn a lot more energy. We're not able to grab the water as efficiently, therefore we start losing body position. Okay, that is the big key word here that you hear me say in every single video is in reference to our body position. Again, I just want to go back to the shot where we had that perfect body position. Okay, and I believe that was right here. Hands reaching forward. If we can point those toes in the back a little bit more, that's exactly where we want to be. That should be the deepest point of any stroke that we take on brushstroke. Okay, and right there. As our hands begin to pull in, you can see our hips drop, and that's okay. But we want to do everything we can to make sure we keep those legs up in the back end. We don't want them to drop along with the hips. That's why we want to point toes in the back to kind of keep the legs up, so that way we're not kicking incredibly deep water and kind of turning into, for lack of a better term, a sinking ship. Okay, because you're not sinking. You still have a very efficient brushstroke. You can just see right here. It's almost like the bow of the ship up here, okay, is facing upwards, while the bottom of the ship, the tail end of the ship, is kind of going downwards. If we can learn how to get those hips up here, okay, now there's never going to be a point where the hips stay at the very, very top of the surface, but if we can get them closer to the surface, it's going to make your brushstroke that much better. Okay. So again, we want to rely on a good head position where we're covering up that last name on the cap. We want those arms going forward, bring the kick together, point the toes, and tighten up that pull. We can do all those things, we can really utilize that efficient brushstroke kick that you have and have a much faster brushstroke in the future. And I just want you to know that for your age, for the group that you're in, you do have a very strong, efficient brushstroke. It's just making those minor adjustments that are going to be a really big help to making that brushstroke that much better. Okay, I hope you learned a lot from this video, and I want you to ask me any questions that you have about it at practice, and we'll continue to work on drills such as the IOI drill. We might even throw in a new drill involving a tennis ball, to where your chin has to press down on the tennis ball in order to hold that head position the entire time. Otherwise than that, we will continue to work on it at every practice. And thank you for watching this video. Please let me know if you have any questions.